Hello and welcome to the Peacekeeper Project. My name is Ben. Now today I want to talk about how meditation teaches us the art of softening, while at the same time stepping into the fire. Now that might sound a little contradictory, but it's really not, especially when you understand what meditation really is. Because meditation is a lot more than what many people realize. And this is something I touched on in a previous video. Meditation is not relaxation, but that's why it works. In that video, I talked about what meditation is and why relaxation is more of a byproduct of meditation, a byproduct of a much greater process. Now, if you want to see more about that, then I'll leave a link at the end of the video and in the description. Okay, so meditation, softening, and fire. There's a really great quote by Mooji that I feel is relevant here. He said, "Step into the fire of self-discovery. This fire will not burn you. It will only burn what you are not." So let's start with softening because it is related to fire. Now, when we practice meditation, when we follow the simple process of meditation, there is a softening. And there's two aspects to this. And the first one is this softening of our approach, a softening of our awareness into the meditation. And this is something that I also talked about in previous videos, where I talk about the simplicity of the process of meditation and the process versus the practice of meditation. And again, I'll leave links in the description. All right, so this softening of our approach to meditation is important because if we're not mindful, if we're not careful, then our meditations can get a little graspy. This grasping of our mind onto the meditation, and that's not helpful. But when we soften our awareness and we soften our awareness into the meditation, that is helpful. Now, the other aspect of softening, so when we practice meditation, there is a softening of our ego, of our familiar sense of self. So that conditioning, the familiar thoughts, stories and dramas running through our mind, the familiar patterns of thinking, behaving, our fears and insecurity, these limits that we've built up over a lifetime. So as we follow the process of meditation, we begin to soften our limits. And when our limits soften, something much greater opens up. As we soften our familiar sense of self, a stillness emerges. We can feel this stillness emerging inside us. And it can be quite profound. It can bring a sense of peace, a clarity, and a real stability. But this stillness was always there in the background. But our mind was just too busy and our sense of self was just too conditioned to feel it. So we couldn't rest on it. And so as we soften, we reconnect to this stillness in the background. And in the stillness, something of our presence becomes more available. And the stillness and our presence are like fire. And they exist independently of our familiar sense of self. And there's a sense of I in our presence that does not need anything external. There's just a simple and powerful feeling of I. And the stillness and our essential presence does not waver. What can waver is our ego and our sense of self. So this is why the sense of stillness and sense of presence can sometimes feel fleeting. But it's not because they are. They're permanent. They're always there in the background. It's really that our sense of self is fleeting. It fluctuates. It can't maintain our awareness there. So when Mooji talks about stepping into the fire of self-discovery, he's really talking about stepping into the fire of our true self, the fire of our presence. So this fire, it cannot burn us. It cannot burn what we are because our presence, our essential presence, is fire. It can only burn what we are not, our limits, our ego. So meditation helps us soften the shell of our ego so we can step into the fire of stillness and presence. And yes, this can be uncomfortable and sometimes scary at times, but we can look at this as the fire of stillness and our presence burning the limits of our ego, burning impurities, because fire only leaves what has integrity. But the more we reconnect with the stillness, with our presence, the more stable this process becomes, and the more healing and awakening naturally happens in our life. So this is softening and fire in the context of meditation. Now, I hope this makes sense, and I hope you can see meditation from a new perspective. But mostly, I hope this is resonating with something inside you. I hope it's touching the stillness, something of your presence inside, and you can feel that. And now, if you would like some help on your journey of meditation, then I have various resources on my website, peacekeeperproject.com. I have a free introduction to meditation course called Meditation Essentials and a more comprehensive paid program called Finding Stillness. And you can learn more about those on my website. If you have any questions about those or anything else I offer, then don't hesitate to reach out. All right, now if you did enjoy this video, please give it a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me build this channel so that more people can find videos like this. Okay, I'm going to leave this here for now. Thank you for being here, and I really appreciate your presence. Until the next time, quiet your mind and live from your heart.